So today I will talk about um, architecture of confusion. So in Hinduism, in the last 5,000 years, there has been several schools of thoughts. How can we make a proper decision? So today, it is the era of artificial intelligence where you believe like large language model, ChatGPT, Grok, and so many different tools are there to give you answers. What do? They look at the entire database of information and knowledge created by mankind, and then they find out what is the correlation word to word, sentence to sentence, picture to picture, sound to sound, music to music. So they don't need to understand Japanese, still they can speak Japanese because they know that after this word, which word is mostly said. After this picture, after this concept, which concept is mostly adopted. So they can create an evolution of conceptual uh, perception. And that perception is born and it is human-like. However, the Vedic rishis went far, far different direction. And one of them is architecture of confusion. So Maharshi Gautama in 700, 800 BC, I'm not going into the debate on exact timing of it, but uh, he argued that there should be sandeha. Sandeha means confusion. So what is confusion? He very scientifically defined. When two different concepts are one opposite to each other, and still you cannot make out which one is the first and which one is the second, which one is the cause, which one is the result, and they may be totally contradictory to each other, but in which way they are linked to a singular origin, you can't make it out. They appear in some extent similar, but still you cannot say that what is the origin of that particular concept. So in this kind of situation, when you have onion, onion is loved by Indian philosophers and Vedic and post-Vedic for thousands of years. Onion is so popular because if you take out the part of the onions, eventually you end up into nothing. So this nothingness or voidness is a great example of what should be a sandeha or confusion. So just like if you take a part of those concepts where you have the confusion, you take a different part of it, you take it out one by one, and finally you reach nothing, nowhere. So that's why it's a confusion. So where it exists, we don't know. Where it will go, we don't know. We don't know its origin. What are the constituents, and their perceptions are very, very debatable. So this kind of situation you face every day in your life, almost at every other moment you face. And then what do? So he said what you have to do is you look at and identify what is the biggest confusion that you have in any problem that you face, and then you go inside and then you find some more confusions. So then you also filter out, okay, these are the primary, the basic confusions I have, and then you take one of them and you go inside, deep inside, and find some more confusions into those concepts, and you go on making this journey. So imagine you start from the top, you find say two or three inside, and you take each of them and go two or three inside. So it's a temple like architecture that is created. That is the architecture of Confucian. So you find a beautiful book by Nietzsche, a German philosopher, who took Maharshi Gautama's concept and wrote a beautiful literary review and a scholarly review on how to understand this architecture of Confucian. Now imagine that just like onion analogy was given, if you go inside and answer, really you end up at nowhere. No, you may end up in some elements, which could be fact, which does not change with anything, where there is no confusion, and you understand that that is the origin. That could also happen. So that is the bottom line. The entire Western discourse of philosophy starts with those facts. And there are random facts. You observe them, observe them, observe them, observe them. And when you observe them, you try to link between them. That is called algorithm. And when you link all of them, that's why the training process goes on for large language models. And when you're able to link between them, and then the distance of conceptual distance between different entities, perceptions, or ideas, you are able to make out that what should be the logical output for the next step. However, the whole temple architecture that is there remains silent. So this is where architecture of confusion becomes so brilliant. So you don't need a training, and different people could have different perception. If uh, suddenly the culture changes, these LLM models won't work, because we will correlate one word with something completely different, and contextual meanings would change and evolve. Then we need to train again, train again, train again. But architecture of confusion, how you are looking at a confusion doesn't matter. After some time, the temple I create, a nearly similar concept. I build up a temple, 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 temple. I come to a particular set of point, and you create somewhere. They will cross over, and somewhere a common point will be generated, through which we will reach nearly a common region of argument. So the advantage of architecture of confusion, this temple-like architecture, where confusion inside a confusion, inside a confusion, inside a confusion, when it goes, think about it. Your individual perception soon disappears. You become biasless, and you look into finding more and more confusion. When you try to do that, you are not using your perception to build every single element. It is not taking the raw data, raw elements, and getting and creating a construct with a hypothetical thing. So you are not referring, hey, give me some support. I have created this data structure. Hey, come, run your deep learning model and give me your some of your perception. So you don't do this. What you do is, really, I'm having a trouble of my stomach pain today. So what should I think? So my stomach pain is at the top, and then I go inside, and then I say, did I eat anything since morning? Yeah, I ate that thing. That may be the reason. Yesterday night I also had a little pain. Maybe the reason is for 2 3 days I'm not having a proper meal or something. And three thing is, I didn't eat anything since last morning. I think I forgot. Uh, that could be the reason. So what is happening, what is my perception, is getting neutralized. My biasness is getting neutralized, and I am creating a geometry of inside a confusion. I create a geometry of confusion. I go inside a geometry of confusion. I lose I. The who am I? The Atman disappears very, very soon, and you cut it piece by piece. That's why architecture of confusion, I believe, is one of the greatest discoveries of philosophical discourse in the last 5,000, 6,000 years by Hindus, because this is a practice by which bias-free artificial intelligence could be generated. A new kind of computer could be built. In fact, in our laboratory, we have tried to build computational model based on architecture of confusion, because bias-free decision making, neutral decision making, uh, my biological drive, my hate, my love, my blindness, all this kind should not corrupt my decision making. And that is the liberation or moksha we talk about. And this is a beautiful practice that not only take you towards the path of moksha, this gives you a neutral decision making. Even though you have a physical body of prakriti, you can bring down the blessings of purusha inside you by practicing at every moment of your life how to create an architecture of confusion. Thank you. Please do subscribe and follow the channel so that we can have this conversation. If you have questions or something, you can write it in the videos. And throughout my years, since my childhood, for more than 45 years, I have been going through different literatures, trying to understand. And as a scientist, I have tried to implement and review all the religious discourse of Hinduism in terms of argumentative thoughts, that what could be the direct implications in our life. And something, I do not believe in God, I am an atheist, and I will try to present systems in a most neutral way possible. Thank you very much.